hour, hands on the wheel. Click once, screen turn, till that's real. Big bands, big spread, I don't feel fear. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. Power hour, hands on the wheel. One flash, whole tape, kill that skill. Green rain, red fade, I don't shed tears. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. 4 screens, 1 chair, I'm still. Jaw clench, heartbeat stand still. PM rush, it's a hunt, not a thrill. I don't chase, I just wait, then I kill. New hot shorts fry in the sun. Cool head, hot chart on the run. You guess I size, then I'm gone. You pray, I plan, then it's done. Power hour, hands on the wheel. Click once, screen turn, till that's real. Big bands, big spread, I don't feel fear. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. Power hour, hands on the wheel. One flash, whole tape, kill that skill. Green rain, red fade, I don't shed tears. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. NY close, I'm awake, no yawn. Whole pit on tilt by dawn. You flex for it like I'm calm. One field, pay the crib, pay mom. No luck, that's logs, that's stats. Draw down, get cut, no cap. You see candles, I see traps. I see routes in the gaps, that's maps. Hour, hands on the wheel. Click once, screen turn, till that's real. Big bands, big spread, I don't feel fear. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. Power hour, hands on the wheel. One flash, whole tape, feel that skill. Green rain, red fade, I don't shed tears. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. Power hour, hour, hands on the wheel. Click once, lock in, that's real. Big bands, big spread, I don't feel fear. Power hour, I make the whole block cheer. Clock hit heavy when the screens light up. Silence in the room, but the numbers talk rough. Red and green flicker like a warning sign. Every second calls when you're running out of time. This ain't hype, this is pressure and math. One wrong red, turn the wind to the past. No applause in the middle of pain, just conviction, risk, and the way to the game. It's the hour the lies fall apart. When the trend get exposed and the weak lose heart. You don't guess here, you commit or you fold. Every candle printed gotta earn its control. Power hour, yeah, the room get cold. Liquidity shift, watch the story unfold. No comfort trades, no second chance. When the clock start ticking, better know your stand. Power hour where the noise get cut.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour. It looks like it might be time to enter along. So, how you doing, JR?
Other than navigating technical difficulties live, I'm doing great. How are you, bro?
I'm doing all right. I am super excited to go over today's topic. You know, we touched on market structure yesterday. We left a little bit to be discussed today. You know, we kind of gave a broad overview, uptrends, downtrends, ranging, how in all of these you're going to trade things differently, and how that really informs your trade. And today we're kind of going to discuss some strategies that use that information. So while I get this long haul prepped live, you got anything to start this off with? Because I know you use a different market structure strategy than I do, although they kind of are a little bit similar. Yours is called what? Orb?
Yeah, based off price action. Yeah.
Yep.
Based off price action. And time, I guess, both. Both of ours are based off price action and time. They're just called different things and focused on different things, but they're pretty close.
Definitely. And mine is extremely time bound. Mine's a market open strategy. I know yours is as well. I'm trying to get my take profit and stop loss all put in because when you're doing this live, it makes it a little bit harder to make sure that you're focused on all of it. But it looks like we might get another little retest, so I'm gonna wait on my entry for a second. So gives me a chance to dive into what we're going over first. Uh, Mine, as it has been teased before, is called ICT kill zones. JR just talked about what orb is. Both of these are market structure strategies. Oh, you just shared your screen with me. Appreciate that. Let me get mine all pulled up too, because forgot to share mine in the beginning. I'm just gonna we just gonna enter this long, I guess.
I would, but I'm King Degen.
Let's see. Do I got it? Did it work? It's not. Oh, I'm on the wrong one.
Just do a half a position if you think it's going to retrace and put the other half a position at the golden pocket retracement, maybe.
I was in the wrong the wrong futures account because BTCC has two of them.
Ooh,
I was
shady.
I was in the pro one and I like the other version. Let me get it. Well, do you want to dive into your orb first, and then I can dive into ICT while I enter this trade?
Yeah, that's why I shared my screen so we could back test it live. I can go over it right now.
All right. Well, I'm getting yours all pulled up. There we go. You're good to go, sir.
Okay. Does the size look good? Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So yeah, this
This
morning's
stock
orb.
thing over here.
Am I good?
Yep.
Okay. So this morning orb would have played great, but I ignored it because I was doing too much. Too many YouTubes and stuff and Discords and stuff. So yeah, it worked great this morning. We can go down to the 5 minute to see it in detail. But we had an aggressive candle close through orb. So the orb is the first 15-minute high and low of the candle. We'll go back to the 15 just to show you. I marked it. What the frick? Is this different? 9:45. Oh no, this is good. This is good. What's this then? Oh, that was PM. I was marking. I looked by this initial bounce. So yeah, I don't need this. I got the indicator on. I accidentally put it by last night because I was multitasking. But yeah, so I got it auto marked as an indicator. If you want to hit me up in Piper Academy for the indicator that auto marks it for you, I can show you the settings and the indicator and how to do it. It's like orb by. Here, I'll pull it up now for anyone watching if they're not in Piper Academy yet. Orb by, let's see, who is the developer about the script? Opening range breakout orb ORB by ZZZ Crypto 123. That's an easy orb one. It'll auto market if you don't have chart prime and stuff yet. And then the settings. Oh yeah, the settings for New York. I have different settings for Asia and London, but that's a different episode. For New York, 1430 to 1445. And that doesn't matter where you live or anything. That's just everywhere. Type that in. That's the New York orb. I have my chart set to New York, but other people don't. They use these same settings. I'm pretty sure it works. So yeah, 14, whatever I said, 14 what? 30 to 1445. So it marks the high and the low of the first 15-minute opening candle. And sometimes you'll get a break and retest. So like you can see it better on the 5 minute. But today we didn't really get it, I don't think. But we can check. But I'll just draw what I'm looking for typically when I do it, when I'm trading it. So you want to break. So usually it loses the mid first. And then you want it to lose the low of the first 15-minute candle. And if you get an aggressive candle through like this, I would just enter off that. because it's aggressive. But and if I got a retracement, I'd maybe do, if it's an aggressive candle through, I might just go half position and save half of my position for a retest of the low or the mid. It could be anywhere in there. It can even go up here sometimes, but usually just the low. Usually just the low. That's like the easy rule for if you're just starting with it. And then it went down, and we got like just a retracement. Didn't retest the low board or anything, and it continued down. So whoops. So today it would have worked good. Boom, boom, printing. And then if you would have entered on those rules, just the aggressive candle closed through. So you entered at the end of the candle close, and you're like, I don't think it's going to retrace. And you can put your stop loss at or mid or above the high. I suggest above the high, or you get stopped out too much. And then so far we got a 1 to 2.46 out of it, but it doesn't always work out like that. So I always take profit at a 1 to 1, because that's good. Like that's a good orb, 1 to 1. Because it's just a day trade. You're not looking for the moon or nothing. So 1 to 1, I'll take profit, and then I'll raise my stop loss break even. Then it's a free trade, and I'm chilling, and I can relax and stuff. And then just trail. I could trail behind these 15-minute candles. I could take my stop. Say this red line's my stop loss. Whoa, buddy. Okay, say this red line's my stop loss. I could trail below these 15-minute candles, but then you would have got stopped out down here if you did that. So sometimes it's good to just wait for the retracement and then just trail above that retracement, and just take profits when I get to a 1 to 2. So roughly here, I gotta put the stop loss back so I can see what it would have been. So I'll take profit at 1 to 1, raise stop loss, break even. Hang on, there. Take profit at 1 to 1, raise stop loss, break even, and then I'll take profit at 1 to 2, and I'd be trailing or like thinking about flipping or getting out right now probably. We'll see how it goes. Depends on indicators too. I don't use it alone. I'll use it with this stuff too. We're getting a bull div, double clipping on the prime oscillator and stuff. So I'll use it with that just to see what's going on. But yeah, that's how I would have played orb this morning. I wasn't a short already, so I've been taking profit on my short all day.
So you front ran it just a little bit there.
Yeah, a little bit. Because I wake up pretty early. So that's why my lines, I had lines up here and a box up here. Because I'm awake for all this usually.
Well, a lot of that is pretty similar to my strategy. Let me get my screen share all pulled up. Just for transparency, I was talking about entering that long. We got in pretty close to that secondary low right there. It is a higher low. We'll kind of see if we can break through our resistance here. Could have been a nice area for a continuation if we can get above that area. Let me get that better. There we go. We're looking for a break of here. See if we can get back up to our highs up here, about 57. So potential for some bouncing there, but let's get into some ICT, because ICT is also a market structure strategy, and it deals with a little bit of some of the same things that JR just talked about with Orb. That also a time-based strategy. So his is a market open, mine is also market open. Mine deals with taking of liquidity as well. So very, very similar on those. Where we differ just a little bit is mine allows for that New York PM session as well. Normally get those moves closer towards that end of the market on New York PM. Kind of a fun session to trade, but not very oftenly traded. Another thing that kind of go over with those kill zones, we will bring it up here just a little bit better, and you can see it. Oh, what did I just move? Alt said, lock your fibs, fools. Messing things up. There we go. You can see this just a little bit better. This is very similar to what JR was just talking about there. You get that sweep below here. This is where he would enter. And what I'm looking for is a take of liquidity also. So kind of same thing where here you're looking for that short. you take your liquidity here, and then this is where you'd look for your entry. So take of liquidity, retest, and enter. Don't catch as much as the move as JR, but we still pretty much enter that same little area. You could enter up here as well, where this is a break of structure of your range. So two kind of entry points, both of them would get you in that same direction. Another thing that you're kind of looking for, this is more of a institutional level trade strategy. This was built for institutions. Institutions, they're looking for the participation, they're looking for the volatility, and they're looking where traders are trapped. So these are all things you need to take into account when you're trying to use this ICT kill strategy. It highlights this one here, where your kill windows are. This one starting from that 9 a.m., that 9:30 a.m., runs about till 11:45. So you've also got your London ICT. This is going to be here from 2 a.m. Eastern to 4:45 Eastern. And then you've got Asia with a very wide kill zone because you have 4 markets coming on in. So this one's a very quick one. You can see that you are retesting your New York PM secondary high here. When you fail to take it, this would be your entry point because traders are now trapped and we are shooting for that short. So kind of some of those things that you're going to want to look for when it comes to kill zone. You want to look for those prior highs, the prior lows, your equal highs, your equal lows, in your range highs, in your range lows. One of those nice things that London does quite frequently is range. So that's why New York Open can be so explosive. It is a great session to trade. Look at that. We are printing at the same time. This is that New York PM session. We love it. Retesting our resistance here, trying to see if we can hold it and then get that next push towards the upside. Let me get back into ICT zone. ICT kill zones are the liquidity delivery windows. So what that means is these are when your market opens. New York has that shorter window because there's just that New York session with the New York markets. The whole country opens up with that New York. Whereas it's a little bit different for London here. London has a very big window because you have London, Frankfurt, Germany, that Frankfurt one. You've also got some uh, ones that open up a little bit before that. So London, nice little session. You've got 4 different markets that are all coming into the market at the same time. Asia, very big one because you have Japan, then you have China, then you have western half of China, and then you have India. That's why you have that very, very big window. If you missed this one, there's another little entry here, and then there's that entry here as well when India is entering the market. So multiple chances on ICT. If you miss the first one, that's the nice thing about trading as well, is the markets will always give you another window. If your capital does, your capital will always get that second chance. Kind of that nice move with ICT. You're looking for a window. It doesn't have to be that first 15 minutes, even though sometimes, as JR pointed out with Orb, that first 15 minutes can really play. The big problem with ICT, when you're thinking about like that Orb strategy, is you can get trapped in the trade extremely easy. You got to have a little bit of patience with ICT. And that's one thing that some people aren't always great with. So have a little bit of patience, especially when this is a time-based strategy. You have a giant window to enter that trade. Don't try to force it. Wait for that validation because liquidity being taken is clearly defined. Market structure shifts are clearly defined. Displacement is clearly defined. These are all the things that you are looking for. You want to see the liquidity taken. You want to see that market structure shift. All of these things will play into that ICT kill zone window. don't always enter on that first impulse. You might see, like JR was talking about, you get that London ice, you get that London orb. Well, look in here, you're breaking that London orb, but then you sweep a little bit higher. That's why he said you don't want to move your stop loss too quickly, because they will try to trap you in that trade. And that's where ICT can really help you out with that orb. Because, put them together, they're very, very similar. But that one would keep you from getting stopped out here when you're trying to when you're trying to move that stop loss. So I love ICT. We can show you how it actually works here. I know JR wanted to show you a little bit of back testing on it. Did you get through all of that? I was busy entering the trade.
No, I was just gonna do it live. I was just gonna look at it. And another cool thing to note is the London orb that I play is also like the Asia and London orb line up
Mhm.
with your ICT windows, because the Asia orb that I was taught to use, and I've tested, I've used it a lot. It works. Is a 2 hour orb for Asia, and London's a 1 hour orb. And like he was saying, with London, I play London orb different than New York orb, and I play Asia orb just slightly differently. But London orb especially, they like to sweep the high and then go the opposite direction of the 1 hour orb. So you mark the 1 hour, they'll sweep high and go the other way, or they'll sweep the lows and go up, just like he was saying about the what they do. And yeah, they totally do that. And we play it, we trade it.
Well, do you want to get your screen share pulled back up?
Went
And
black.
yeah, there we
Is it
go.
good now?
Yes, sir. You must have closed that window.
Yeah, I
So
closed it to watch you, bro. I love this show too.
I appreciate it, JR. You want to show the people a little bit of that history so they can compare that to the London session that I was just talking about there with orbs, and then the Asia session that was before London.
Yeah, so we'll look back on New York and then go through Asia a bit and then London a bit, is what you're saying, eh?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yeah, today's New York orb played out good, and then yesterday's New York orb also played out good. Look at that. It works really good, you guys. Like, people poop on it, but people don't trade every day too. So it's easy to poop on things when you don't use them every day. So here, right here, mark high and low. We got the aggressive candle down. I probably would have went half position because I'm a degen. And then we got the retest of the middle. But look at, if you mark the mid, this is another good way to trade and things to note when you're trading the orb. If you mark the mid, I'll make it white. Oops, and dashed, and dashed. Now let's zoom in. Just remember how the first time we were talking about, I said you can get a retest of the low or the mid, and sometimes the high too. Sometimes the high. But see, so it retested the mid and it failed to close. Failed to close above the mid. So that's a confirmation on the first. This was the first clue. Candle closed below the low. Went to try to reclaim the low and the mid. Couldn't get a candle close above the mid. Add to the short if you want and send it. Your average entry just got better. Half entry here, half entry on the retest and loss of the mid. Now your entry is halfway between them two around here, just above the low of the orb, a smidge maybe. And then boom, printing, printing, printing. And then, so if we go back even more, I'll take my white line with me. Take my white line with me. Go back to this day's orb. Same thing. It worked great. Shout out to people that don't believe in strategies they've never used. So that works great too. And then sometimes it'll chop the orb. It doesn't always work. It doesn't always work. And sometimes they'll fake you out. They'll close above. Like this. Look at how they tried to they tried to trip people out. They kept chopping the orb. But that's another way you can trade the orb too. If you're a scalper or a day trader, you can play the orb like a range until proven otherwise. So, but you might have got stopped out. Like if you're just trying to go long off a candle close, it would have just reversed and got stopped. But you can play this as a range. When it closes back within the range, like when it dips back in the range here, you could short because it didn't it didn't strongly claim the highs, like it rejected. So you can short to the bottom of the range, and then long to the top of the range, and then short to the bottom of the range, long to the top of the range, short to the bottom of the range, long to, until they pick a direction. You can do that all day long. And then eventually they picked a direction, but it was kind of into the next day, right? Like this would have been Asia, ranging 2 and stuff probably, right? I'm just showing how to trade it if you're using this alone. And then here you would have got just like a 1 to 2 or something out of this one. But see, it failed. It closed slightly above. That's to trick people. You got to watch out for this stuff. That's why I use these indicators down here. See, if you look, when they tried to fake people out here, they tried to fake out here too. Could have shorted that, long back into it, short. You can play it like a range. But if you look at your indicators, they're topped out. Maybe this one's bottomed out. So like, why would you go? Oh no, that's good. That's not bad. That would be all right. Bottomed out, bull div. Yeah, I would have tried to go long on that. I would have tried to go long on this. I would have got stopped. But it doesn't. No strategy works all the time though. You're gonna take stops, but all those other trades that worked before that, the stop, and all these range plays, if you played the range, makes up for all your stops. So you're good to go. And then you go back to the previous day. See, they wicked above, but it failed to close above. So you can enter short on that too alone. Because if you're playing it like a range until proven otherwise, you would short on the failure to claim the high of the range, the opening candle range. So that's a wick up there, failed to close. Same with when it started, a wick up here, failed to close. I don't know if you guys can see this, if I need to make it bigger. But it failed to close. You didn't get a 15-minute candle close above the orb high. So you could have went half position there, anticipating the short, and then you could have added another half position on the confirmation right here. Then that would average your position between here and here. So your average entry would be in here, and then you would have printed a easy 1 to 3 or better, and blah blah blah. So now let's check out Asia. Asia, I do 2 hour. I'll shut this orb off. It's gonna confuse me. Let's do Asia now. Do the 1 hour. Sorry, guys.
I got stopped out of my trade, but nice little sweep to the downside, and looking like I got a chance to re-enter. So
where's the candles, bro?
They disappear sometimes when you zoom back like that.
Hang on. Okay, here we are. But there's a little arrow to like zoom forward. Must not be back far enough. Anyway, I'll shut this indicator off too, so it's cleaner. So yeah, Asia orb, I mark it at Japan. I think it's Japan open. I mark it at 5 my time, so 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's find it. I'll just take these lines with me. For the low, 5 a.m., 10 p.m. So this would be 5 p.m. right here. This little tiny candle. Right there. And then along, I mark the high. Get rid of the dots. I always mark the mids, or I don't mark them, but I watch them. The mid with my eye. I marked it for an example, but yeah, always mind the mid, because if it loses the mid, it's probably going to the low, right? If it can't claim the mid, it'll go to the low. So there. So that's Asia. Asia works too, bro. If Asia doesn't range on the orb and they pick a direction, it's usually pretty strong, bro. It's usually pretty strong. Let's check out this one. Where's Asia? Trading Asia. Right there, 5 p.m. Or no, 7 p.m. Sorry, I want 7 p.m. 5 my time. It's right there, probably. I hope. Ugh. 6 p.m. One candle off. Right there. That's the high. Oh man. 2 hours. So I go to the next hour. That's the low. See, range for a bit, and then it picks a direction. But this was probably London that picked the direction. Hang on. Yeah, London. What did London do? 2 a.m. is London.
Yes,
Or
sir.
12. Yeah, so they swept the low and then they went high for a bit, but that was a fake out and they went low. So Asia chops the orb lots. So you can play Asia range like a range too. Same thing with the New York orb. If Asia doesn't pick a direction and it just chops it, you can short the top and long the bottom. Whoops. Short the top and long the bottom. Short, long, short, and then if it broke the low, you probably just hold it, right? Or TP and then let some ride. And then London, I do 2 a.m. 2 a.m. Eastern, so it's like midnight my time. And I think it'd be easier if I should have just put 3 orbs on to start.
How far back are you in time on this one, sir?
What do you mean?
Oh, what day are we looking at?
Oh, January 26th or January 31st.
Ah. Okay.
I'm just trying to get my Asia orb.
I was just trying to figure out so I know how to compare with ICT in just a second.
It's not even showing up, bro. If you want to go over the Asia thing, I can do I can set up London.
All right. Well, since you are back on the 31st, let me get it pulled on up on
How do I
mine.
change this?
All good. So, as you can see, very, very similar here. And he was talking about how sometimes you range. In this ICT, you would not have entered a trade. You could have tried, probably would have shot for a long here. But then, as you can see, this is just a range here. You're not taking New York highs. You're not taking New York lows. You're not even coming close to testing anything. So, that's one thing with the ICT kill strategy that there are certain clarifications for not entering a trade. And one of these no entries is no displacement. You're getting chopped during that kill zone window. You're not entering a trade. This is a patience test. While he said the market tries to figure out which direction we're going to go. If it's a missing a move, you're also not going to take that trade. As you can see, there's no it's a missed move. New York PM, you're not taking even the secondary high here. You didn't even test on your lows here. So nice little move here. As you can see in that in between window between Asia and London, you swept your Asia lows. So when London opens, what you're looking for is that halfway test. As you can see, this would have been a fair value gap, which we love around here, but this is your displacement. London opens, you're going to be in the trade from market open here. So nice little range. And then your breakout, this is your secondary entry. So that's your displacement. You're now trapping anybody that was already that entered late and sending it the rest of the way. So one thing I've noticed, there's 2 sessions that really like to trade sideways. That's either going to be London or Asia. Both of these like to trade sideways quite frequently. As you can see here, here's London trading sideways. You've got your lows from Asia. You've got your high from Asia, which swept New York PM highs. So what you're looking for here is a retest of some of your highs from Asia. Not getting that, not getting a retest of your lows of Asia either. So this is a range. You're not going to trade this time frame at all. That's the thing about ICT. It tells you when you're not going to trade. Because one of the biggest parts of trading is not taking a trade. There, that is considered having a position. Saving your capital, protecting yourself from any losses is just as good as a move as entering a trade and being like, yeah, we made some money. I like not losing money, and ICT gives me extremely clear definitions on when not to trade and when not to lose money. As you can see here in this New York AM, you would have entered a short. As you can see, you swept those London highs. I see Army Piper in the house. Appreciate you tuning on in. Hope you liking the new show on your channel here. Really diving into different things than we normally see on crypto YouTube. So as you can see here, you've got that New York AM pushing above London highs, sweeping any liquidity out, and then you kind of ranged for a little bit. But you would have entered your short here. You got your nice little bounce off of VWAP, and then you really ranged for the rest of the day in that New York AM before you swept your lows and swept your London lows, which gives you a secondary entry. So ICT window doesn't always happen in your kill zone, although it might happen in your kill zone. New York swept both highs and lows, didn't sweep your Asia lows from back here, which is left open for a take on a whole nother day. So sometimes you got to keep these things into account. That's why we went over market structure yesterday, because all of these things play out. You've got that nice little sweep of your Asian lows from back here where all of your liquidity would have been. You get your New York AM push out to keep anyone that entered short late, and then you really, really swept through everything else. So keeping our eyes on that ICT kill zone. It tells you when to trade, but it tells you when not to trade. I know that ties in a little bit to Orb. Orb doesn't really tell you when not to trade, but right? It doesn't really have the clear defined you don't take a trade here. It's just these are the entries.
Yeah, if you're not using confluences, yep.
Mm. All right. So, and that's that little bit of difference between these market structure strategies. Is mine tells you when to enter, but it also tells you not to enter at all. You need those confirmations. You need those confirmations of liquidity being taken. You need a deviation from your trend. You need those like Alex O uses all the time, that 3-minute candle, the doji that really gives you the defined market structure shift. These are the things you're looking for with ICT. And if you don't get them, you just leave it alone and you'll have a chance later. Don't try to force a trade. And it's okay. That's why we have other strategies. I use multiple strategies. I don't just rely on one. Even though ICT is a great one, it doesn't work for the rest of the day. So, you got anything on Orb that you wanted to finish up?
Yeah, I got set. I'm just finishing these settings, bro, because it's military time. Military time, so I'm like trying to count and like figure out these freaking because I haven't used all these orbs. I manually mark them every day, so it's like I'm just changing this. I need to set it back 1 hour. So I'm on 23. So I need to start it on 22. So for Asia Orb with that orb indicator, you started on 2200 to 2300, I think. Is my screen up?
Yep.
Okay.
I was about to say I can share the trade that I entered after we got that sweep real quick if you're still finishing that up.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, like I said, I got stopped out of my trade. Let me get this zoomed on in just a little bit there. And we will full screen it so you can really, really see it. We entered up here. We got stopped out. We got stopped out with this move to the downside really confirmed some support at our highs from here. I got that entry right on this candle here, and we're getting a little bit of a push towards the upside. We do have this very strong resistance up here at 66,500, so we will have to wait and see what happens. Looking like we're potentially getting some continuation towards the upside though. 15 minutes looking nice. Shorter term time frame is doing a little bit of some back and forth here, so we'll see how this plays. We will let you know as the show goes on.
Yeah, I think I got it finally. Whoo, finally, okay.
There we go. Your
So
screen
yeah,
is back up.
for Asia Orb, it's 2200 to 0, which is 24, but they don't have 24, so you go to 0. 22 to 0 for Asia. Yeah. And then London is 700, I guess, to 800, and you have to set these orb total time minute too. That's what I was I had it on 15 for New York. You have to, so orb, when you go 7 to 800, you set it for 60 minute, and then on the Asia one, you go 2200 to 0 and set it for 120 minutes, and then you'll get both of them, or you'll get them the times right. So yeah, see here, Asia, chop the orb, right? Short, long, short. Then London, they didn't do much of a sweep, really. Oh yeah, London did. Yeah, London swept the highs and then sent it down. So it's like some of these orbs melt together, eh? And they're all building positions basically here. They're all building positions in my head anyway. That's how I see it. They're building their shorts and then boom, printing. And then down here, there's two orbs. This is a wide orb. That's New York. Or no, that's not New York. That's next day Asia. Wide orb, wide orb. And then it swept the lows. It just swept the lows and then it reversed. But yeah, these orbs don't work as like every day. But here they work. See, London and Asia, same thing. Swept the highs, went down. Swept the highs, went down, down. Then right here, Asia, it pretended to go up, and then London went down, and then swept, went up, and then sent it down again. Basically the safest way to enter these though, because there's you'll learn different intricacies using it every day. But so the safe entry on for the hard rules for Asia orb, you wait for a 2 hour candle close above the high or the low, and you enter a long or a short, and then just aggressively take profit, trail and stuff. And yeah, I always take profit at 1-to-1 and raise stop loss break even. And then London orb, you wait for 1 hour candle close below the low, and that's your entry on the short, and it would have worked out. Asia again, 2 hour candle close below the low, printed. Then London faked high again, like they do. They swept the high of the London orb, and you can enter on that. With London, you can enter on that fake sweep of the orb because it works lots. But I was taught to wait for the 1 hour candle close below though. So if you want the patient entry, I guess you could say, you'd wait for the candle close below, and then that printed too in through New York. So yeah, you can use NY 15 minute, Asia 2 hour, London 1 hour orb, and it lines up with ICT kill zones. And yeah.
All right. Well, New York PM session just started, so we'll kind of have to see how this market decides it wants to act in this afternoon. We do have liquidity on both sides, so we'll see how this plays out. Looks like it's trying to trap me right now, so hopefully
you got
this
stopped.
You got stopped?
No, I thought you did.
I did, and then I re-entered on the lows.
Oh, on the
After
sweep?
the sweep. Yep. So it's playing with my entry position right now. But I opened up the Q&A. So if there is any questions you guys might have, go ahead and throw those out. We got about 15 minutes. We also have some time for some TA if anyone wants to have some assets looked at, altcoins, poop coins, stocks. We are here for it all. You got anything you want to wrap up with on that market structure strategy, or you feel like you nailed it?
I wouldn't say I nailed it,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. I use it as a confluence, basically. Like once you learn more than one strategy and you know that they work, you just kind of use them all at the same time, right? So it's like I use them for confirmations of continuation or reversal. So every session, I'll mark the orb, and I'll see what Asia or London wants to do, and then I'll decide what to do with my longs and shorts based off that.
Kind of similar to how I use ICT. That's the great thing about market structure strategies. They're very very similar when you're trying to break it on down. A lot of this is based off moves. How is the market positioning itself? What kind of liquidity is on the board? Are we sweeping highs? Are we sweeping lows? Normally you get those little bits of ranges. We're trying to see that range break. Where is liquidity going? Where is your money flow going? And we're going to base our positioning off these things. So we went into detail on how all of that works yesterday. So if you need that, go and watch yesterday's video, and it'll give you a little more information on that market structure that we are using to enter our trades here. I'm not seeing any questions coming in. We open that up for you to ask anything there. So you can ask that in the chat. Not seeing any TA either. We can take a look at absolutely anything you want. I don't know if you had anything that you were keeping your eye on for your little bit of a degen segment here. So floor's all yours. If you got something that you were taking a look at today, Mr. King Degen.
We can look for something.
All right, show the people how it's done.
I'm getting destroyed in these poop coins, man. Look at this thing. Look at that.
Is that surprising?
No, that's why I don't. That's why I don't trade them in my safe account. Hood, I closed in profit, but the setup sucked, bro. Oh yeah, okay. So let's hunt. Let's check that out. We can find some, bro.
We got Mark Dutch in the house.
Ooh, Dutchy Dutcherson. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Appreciate you.
And then what does this say? I said, JR, can you look at C98?
Oh my god, this thing again. Yeah, I can, bro. I can.
Maybe that's is yours still live?
My what?
Your live still live?
No, it wasn't working. It was just showing
Oh.
me on my studio.
Oh yeah.
So
I don't know.
clicking
That's
live
weird.
definitely wasn't the hack for that. We'll have to do some practice runs like right after this or something and see if we can get it to work, or I don't know. Or just
Yeah.
look into it if you want to.
On private, yeah, we can do that.
I just figure it out like on the fly, right? But if you have a reference or something. But yeah, C98. I'm not gonna lie, I would short this right now. That's just me though. Looking at it just at a glance. I'm gonna check out these. See, we're topped out on the primed RSI. We're getting this juicy rejection wick right now. Topped out on this oscillator. Plus, we got clipping. It's hard to see the clipping when the stochastic ribbon's so close to it. But this little thin line here, this little thin joggy jiggy line, looks kind of like a weird saw. When it gets oversold or cooked on multiple time frames, it starts to glow. So you could enter partial position and wait for a potential bear div on the 4 hour if it gets it. It might just get a higher low. I wish I wasn't over allocated in trades. I'd probably short this right now. Not financial advice, just saying what I would do. Just being a transparent Kanuckian ninja chilling in the igloo. So clipping on the 2 hour too. And this oscillator's cooked. The primed RSI, chart prime RSI, free indicator too. Chart prime has a ton of epic free indicators. See that we're getting higher lows or lower highs. Sorry, lower highs on the ribbon. Lower highs, double clipping too. So it's like constantly getting overcooked. You'd think it wants to cool off for a bit, right? That's what I'd think, anyways. And then if I check some levels, and we're getting double bear dibs on the half hour. And it's trying to turn up, but I don't know if it will. I'm just gonna check the levels on what do I got on this one? Spaceman BTC.
What is this poopy doopy coin, sir?
I don't know.
Yeah.
C98. I don't keep track of what they are because there's so many and they're so poopy. It's a full-time job trying to keep track of those. But yeah, I'd short it. If you wanted to use big size and higher leverage, you probably don't want your stop loss above the ultimate highs. You'd probably want them below I would want them below or above those ones there. Then I'd probably try to take it to previous day low around 0.00 or 0.022532 ish. But I'd take profit at 1-to-1 and all that, of course. And then if you were lower leverage and maybe only like a partial, a quarter position, and you want to widen your stop, that's really wide though. But you could. You just have to size down accordingly to make sure you're only risking 0.25 to 1% per stop loss. And if you're more experienced and it's a high conviction play, whatever high conviction means in crypto, you could maybe risk 2 to 4%. But I wouldn't advise it. But anyway, so that'd be a 1 to 2.7. But once you laddered in, your average entry would be up here, so then your stop loss wouldn't be so wide, right? If you did half a position down, or a quarter position down here, 3/4 up here, around 0.346 or whatever. But yeah, if I was entering now, I'd just do it tighty right there. That's 4 point. That's still pretty loose, but it's a poop coin, right? So your stop losses are going to be loose. So to accommodate for loose stop losses on poop coins, I just size down. So if I'm used to a 0.5% price action stop loss on Bitcoin, or just to make the math easy, we'll say a guy's used to 1% price action stop loss on Bitcoin or Solana or something. So then you go to a poop coin and you're like, ooh, the high's 4% or 5% away. So then I'd cut my position into 4 or 5 to make it the same risk. Right? But yeah, I'd short it. That's just me though. Am I still hunting poop coins or what are we doing?
I mean, we've got about 10 minutes. I had a few questions with Bitcoin, so let me
Oh yeah,
get
do that.
mine pulled on up. It looks like New York PM sweeping New York AM lows. So we talked about, yep, my short got or my long got stopped out on this one. We took a little bit of profit up there and then was waiting to see if we can get a little continuation, and then this one got taken out. So let's zoom this on out though, because we talked about some levels this morning that we were kind of looking for. Oh, really gotta zoom that there with that harsh dump. As you can see here on the daily, you're starting to get a few indicators that we could be close to bottomed. I see All Set was talking about 63.74, which a little bit above what I was looking for here. This is 61,832 that we'd potentially be looking for if we don't hold this $65,000 mark. Looks like we are trying to hold it. We've gotten a few little bounces on the shorter term time frame. The big concern that we're really starting to see, money flow really coming out on the daily. You are starting to lose a little bit of that sell volume though. So we were talking about what we'd kind of like to see in this area, and this is a little bit of ranging. So this would be this area we're kind of looking for, not down to the golden pocket, but about 61K. We'll kind of have to see. 74 would be that ultimate top area that we'd kind of want to keep our eyes on. We do have here on not the 3 hour. Who looks at the 3 hour? 4 hour here. We're also very, very close to seeing some bottoming on our indicators, but a little bit of a money flow divergence, and then your money flow just started coming back out, as you can see. But your volume really starting to slow down on that sell volume. So potential to kind of control to hold this area. Control A makes letters bigger. Does it? I think it's control plus that you're thinking about? That can you read it now?
What did All Set have for a level? All Set was saying?
63, basically 63 on the dot. Is that
'Cause
better? Can you read it?
I got a point of control of a previous range at 63,126 too, and a volume shelf at 64,500. That's my next two levels.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, that's I'd have to pull up volume range profile. I don't use that very often, but let me
No, no,
zoom.
no. It just sounds like there's some confluence. I got a value
Mhm.
area low at 59,700. Then I got a volume shelf at 61,143, and then a juicy fat point of control at 63,126, and then a volume shelf that we're approaching right now at 64,514 ish. Sorry, keep going. I just want to.
Not a problem.
That's
Let's
all I
see.
got.
Here on this 1 hour, we're also kind of looking at a few signs here. We just did get New York PM sweeping our New York AM lows with that nice little retouch on 65, basically 65 100. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get a little continuation. Might have been the mid, that might have been the point to enter the long there on that ICT. Was looking for a little bit of continuation on that, but we did not get that. The big concern here again, money flow. Money flow continuing to come on out. Your volume starting to pick up just a little bit on that sell volume. So this is that point to kind of watch for. If we can't hold 65, which we called out before we even got here, then 61 really looks like that next area I'd kind of keep my eye on. It's from way, way back there. Let's get it zoomed back, pull it on out so you can see it a little bit better. It's pulled from this the lows back here on the daily. Let me get it. Of course, it moves the chart. There we go. Actually, it's pulled from the highs back here on our daily. You also got it being a little bit of a point of control for this. And then this one was pulled from our lows before we started our next move towards the upside. So that's what I was kind of looking for these two. These are the two areas to really hold here. Got to hold out that 65,000, and if not, 61,800 looks like that next area, at least on the chart. So I know you did have those few volume nodes you just called out. So we'll really have to see how this all plays. Not really seeing any divs here, even though you got money flow divergence. It's not diving too hard. Your money flow has slowed down just a little bit on that sell pressure, but that's kind of what you normally see in that New York PM session. So we'll really going to have to wait and see how Asia reacts to all of this and see what's going on, because 65K looks like the level to hold to try to see if we can get back to like 68K. And if we're not getting back to 68K, it looks like we might try to range here through Asia and then see how London reacts. So, you got anything for the people?
Join Piper Academy. Only $5 a month. Team of epic specialists in different areas. And yeah, happy printing.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed us going over those market structure strategies, really breaking down how we use them. I don't have a topic picked out for tomorrow. So if there are things that you would like to see us go over, especially when it deals with not just the TA, it might be specific indicators, it might be specific strategies, anything you guys would like to know that would help you on your trading journey. That is what we are here for. We're
Or
here. Well,
psychology or
mhm.
sizing up, how good ways to do that and stuff. Anything.
Yep. Anything. I'll get a topic for tomorrow picked on out. If you guys don't pick one out for us, or for me, because it'll just be me tomorrow. King Degen here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But the whole goal of this show is not to predict prices. It's to help us understand why price might act a certain way when it comes to certain levels. And looks like we have a request for some money flow. So we can get into some money flow
Yes.
tomorrow. It's a great topic, but often misunderstood because there are multiple parts to money flow. JR, you got anything you want to say before we head on out?
Money flow's a lie. Just kidding. I'm just
All right. You heard it here first. Money flow is a lie. Make sure to tune in to the rest of the shows here on the Piper Academy. We got that morning market report, 10 a.m. 15, and we got Trading with OC at 7 p.m. He is off this evening, though, so keep your eyes out for Friday's shows. We'll be back here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Make sure to subscribe, bring your questions, and stay sharp. See you at the next one.
Clock hit heavy when the screens light up. Silence in the room, but the numbers talk rough. Red and green flicker like a warning sign. Every second calls when you're running out of time. This ain't hype, this is pressure and math. One wrong red, turn the wind to the past. No applause in the middle of pain, just conviction, risk, and the way to the game. It's the hour the lies fall apart. When the trend get exposed and the weak lose heart. You don't guess here, you commit or you fold. Every candle printed gotta earn its control. Power